Hey there, knife people. It is Pocket Knife Collector. I've got another package to open here today. This is from Dandridge, Tennessee. I believe that's Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I'm going to bust into this package with the MKM Isonzo. This is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive version of the Isonzo, which features fat carbon handle scales and an M390 blade. I quite like this little knife. It's well suited to opening packages. The hawkbill tip. Looks like this box took a little damage in shipping. Hopefully nothing inside is affected, but we'll soon find out. Okay, so I've got 3 knives in here. I've got 2 that I ordered and 1 that was a freebie for the 4th of July. So we've got another knife from Fox. Right? We've got a knife from Nighthorse. Dirk Design. No familiarity with this brand, but I saw this thing. I thought it was worth checking out, so we're going to look at it together today. And then, as a promo for July 4th, Smoky Mountain Knife Works threw in a very patriotic-looking Second Amendment knife from Rough Rider, which is probably worth about what I paid for it, which is nothing. Made in China. A lot of decent knives are made in China. That alone is it's not really a problem, but it doesn't have the appearance of quality that's mystery steel. What kind of steel is this? Who knows? Always built by hand and backed for life. Well, that's nice. All right, so I'm not going to even bust into the Rough Rider freebie today. I don't mean to be ungrateful, I mean, folks at Smoky Mountain Knife Works giving me a freebie for the holiday. That's nice of them. I just, in this particular case, it's something that I personally don't want. But maybe I can do a giveaway or something. We'll think about that. I don't know if it's worth the effort. All right, enough knocking on the Rough Rider. Let's start with the Fox. Okay, we'll set that Nighthorse aside for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and open this up with this let's see. I think there's actually a little cardboard tab in there. I don't want to cut off completely. Yeah, okay. Got some literature about Fox since 1896. All right, so Fox Knives has been around for a while. This is an Italian company based in Maniago, Italy. Fox is one of the one of the participants in the MKM consortium, right? So MKM, that stands for Maniago Knife Makers in English, which I think tells you where most of the knife market is. But there are several knife makers that are headquartered in the same city, Maniago. Fox Knives, Mercury Knives, Lion Steel, right? There's, I think, a couple others as well. And several of them banded together and formed MKM. And they put out products under the MKM brand. And I've shown several MKM knives on the channel before. If you're interested in them, you can browse my channel and find out more. I mentioned that this Isonzo is a White Mountain Knives exclusive. The Isonzo comes with 3 different blade patterns, right? This is the hawkbill pattern with the reverse S, the recurve there. There's also a clip point, I think, and a cleaver profile. And then just from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, they also come in multiple different colors of fat carbon. We've got this green one here, and then there's a red one, there's a purple one, might be a blue one, can't remember for sure. So you've got a lot of different ways to mix and match colors and blade profiles, right? Well, this is from Fox, which is not exactly the same company as MKM, although it's related. And it's also a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive. This model is oh man, it's pretty much obliterated there. Right? I'm pretty sure this is the Suru. Fox Suru, I think is what this is supposed to say. But it's pretty much obliterated. This is also with fat carbon handle scale on one side and titanium on the lock side. It's a frame lock knife, right? Interesting pocket clip here with a little ball to be the catch point. Anodized titanium, I believe. Backspacer with a lanyard hole there. This is also a flipper. And the steel here, on that Isonzo, it was M390, which is, you know, a premium blade steel. This is Vanax, which is a very special steel. When MagnaCut was just first coming out, people were comparing it to Vanax. I'm not sure that that's really an accurate comparison. I don't have a ton of experience with Vanax. I know it usually costs a lot of money to get a knife with a Vanax blade. These are not particularly expensive from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It's the only Vanax bladed knife that I've seen for under $200. Well, rather I should say this series of knives from Smoky Mountain Knife Works is the only series of knives I've seen that offer Vanax where the individual knives are under $200. And it is a series, right? Here is another one, different pattern. This is the MKM Vincent, right? Which is, again, one of these is Fox, one's MKM. Not the same thing, but related. This is not a frame lock, this is a liner lock. And it's got the purple fat carbon scales on both sides, as well as anodized purple ring around the pivot, and again an anodized purple backspacer. Different kind of clip. Right? This is just a wire pocket clip. But again, we have a finger choil. We've got interesting blade profile. I think initially this entire pattern, the Vincent, was only available from Smoky Mountain Knife Works in the US. You can now get the Vincent from other knife dealers, but not in this configuration. This has, again, a Vanax blade. Vox, right? So it's designed by Jasper Vaknes. Who does work with Fox knives periodically, and also has his own shop. Puts stuff out under his own brand, and also I think Giant Mouse, if I remember right, was also a partnership that he was a party to. Don't know what's going on with Giant Mouse. Something, there seems to be a little shake up over there, but I don't really have the scoop, so I'm not gonna talk out my butt. Right, so Vincent from MKM, similar overall length to the Suru from Fox Knives. There is another knife from Fox that also features, for at least for Smoky Mountain Knife Works, features Vanax blade steel and fat carbon handles, and that is the Yaru. So there's the Suru and the Yaru, which are branded Fox knives, and then there's the Vincent that's branded MKM. But they kind of go together. I mean, I'm pretty sure Fox is the MKM member that is making the Vincent. Sure seems like it, right? I mean, where would I get that idea? Yeah, I mean it's a modestly sized knife. Let me show you it compared to some other things that might be more familiar to you. So it's quite a bit smaller than a Rat 1 from Ontario. It's closer to a Rat 2. Seems more substantial. There's more to hold on to in the handle, and blade is a little taller than the Rat 2. But in terms of reach, yeah, it's kind of similar. Cutting edge on the Rat 2 is probably a little bit longer, but we've got more belly on the Fox. So kind of hard to say. And we've got that finger choil that's taking up some of our real estate that could be sharpened blade. But because of that finger choil, we've got a pretty comfortable 4-finger grip on this. And I wear size XL gloves. So it's pretty good ergos. All right. Other size comparisons quickly. We've got the Spyderco Para 3, and where'd my militaries? My Paramilitary 2 is over here. All right, so PM2 and a Para 3. Okay. And this Yaru is closer to the PM3. Folded up, It's actually a little more compact than the Para 3. But like the Para 3, it's going to have that finger choil. Para 3 might be a little bit better at piercing, but I think the Fox would make a really compelling option as an alternative to the Para 3 if you're looking for something in that size. And let's show you some Benchmade options here. Here's the Bugout and the mini Bugout. It's going to be more noticeable in your pocket than either of these knives. But, you know, if you don't mind a little bit more girth and a little bit more weight, it might be an interesting option to consider if you're looking at either of these Benchmades. Maybe you prefer a frame lock to an axis lock. Maybe you like the idea of having a flipper. These are operated on thumb studs. All right. Well, I will likely have more to say about the Suru at some point, but for now, I'm just doing our unboxing video and first impressions, and my first impressions are positive. I think this was like $140, a little less than $140, and I think that's a heck of a deal for, you know, a super steel, a well-designed knife from a known designer, titanium and fat carbon, really premium materials. Yeah, check it out. All right, moving on. Got another knife from that same order, from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And this is also an SMKW exclusive. Okay, so it says Nighthorse, it says Dirk Design, and it says A or 4 asymmetrical, right? Asymmetrical. So I think asymmetrical is like a subset of knives from this brand. I think Nighthorse is the brand, and asymmetrical is like some of their knives are in their like asymmetrical series. What else we got in here? We've got a cleaning cloth, microfiber cloth, pretty big one actually, and a silica packet, nothing else. All right, got our nylon pouch. Beyond EDC knives. I didn't realize that this had anything to do with Beyond EDC. That's interesting. Okay. So it doesn't say Beyond EDC on the main box here. But I just recently got my first knife from Beyond EDC, and it was this thing. And I can't remember the name of this model. It's something like the Milan or something like that. It's a Navaja pattern. I'm going to be talking about Navaja patterns soon. I'm going to do a whole video just on this shape of knife. But yeah, this is beyond EDC, but it's got different badging on it than this one. This one I just got. Much different materials. This is a D2 blade and like a GRN or an FRN injection molded handle. Interesting. Okay. I did not know that this was a beyond EDC product as well. Higher quality materials in this one, or at least, you know, what we normally think of as higher quality. A little oil on there. This is anodized titanium, and it looks pretty gray to me, but this is the blue anodized titanium, or at least that's how it's described. It's a little bit blue. Yeah, it's got some. It's in the ballpark of blue. All right, now that has got a pretty substantial blade on it. And so DP, I believe, is for Dirk Pinkerton. I think when this box says Dirk design, I'm pretty sure the Dirk there is Dirk Pinkerton, who, you know, has done a lot of designs for knives. Some of them I like. This is a frame lock. Thumb studs. Let's see, can I reverse flick it? Oh yeah, yeah I can. I believe it's on washers. I don't think it's on bearings. S35EN steel. And I'm pretty sure that's a flat grind. A significant swedge. This is also, I would call this as well, a Navaja in terms of the profile of the blade. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole video just about the Navaja style of knives from Spain. This is a traditional knife pattern going back hundreds of years in Spain. I've got several contemporary examples of knives that you know, basically conform to this design. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about some of the things I like about the Navaja pattern, some of the things I see as problematic about the Navaja. But this is a big knife. For today's video, you know, I'm not going to do the comparison to all the other Navajas, but Navajas historically could be quite large. They were made in lots of different sizes, and there were some that were really big that were not really practical. That were more like ceremonial pieces, or, you know, ornamental pieces. This isn't preposterously large, but it's a big knife. Let me show you in comparison to some other things. So we had our Spyderco Paramilitary 2 out here a minute ago. And pair 3, which is even smaller. Okay, so this Nighthorse is big. It's big. There is also a less expensive version of this with G10 handle scales, or there was. I don't. It's not available at the moment. I don't know if it's coming back. Right now they've got, you know, the titanium handle version with 2 colors, blue, which is this, and then like plain titanium, which is, you know, a different shade of gray, I guess. So yeah, that's a 4-inch blade on this Dark Horse. Nighthorse, sorry, Dark Horse is something else. Nighthorse has about a 4-inch blade. So it's quite a bit bigger than the PM2. Let's see it with the Military 2. Yeah, even the Military 2, which is a big knife, seems a little small compared to that Nighthorse. Which is, you know, part of the thing with the Navaja pattern is we get all this extra bit of handle that curves down and sticks out. Yeah. You know, I think this might be a little bit over 4 inches because the Military 2 is right at about 4 inches. And this looks to be, you know, maybe... Well, no, it's pretty close. It's a smidge longer than the Military 2. How does it compare with other big knives? Well, here's the Mar Ultralight with its 5-inch blade, also with titanium handles. Here is a cold steel Recon 1. Similar handle length, but the Nighthorse has a little more reach on the blade. Here is the Spartan from Cold Steel. Spartan also has a really big handle, but not a lot bigger than the Nighthorse. And I'll throw another big Benchmade out there. How about the full-size Adamas? And what the heck, let's throw in the full-size Crooked River as well. Alright, so if you're familiar with the Crooked River or the Adamas, you know that they are serious knives. And this Nighthorse definitely has more reach than either one of them. Similar handle real estate. That we're going to have a frame lock instead of the axis lock. And I think a lot of people will prefer the frame lock. I mean, sorry, a lot of people will prefer the axis lock. Some people will prefer the frame lock. I mean, there are people who worry about the omega springs in the axis lock, even though I haven't had much of an issue. I have replaced some springs, but I've never had a catastrophic failure of a crossbar style lock. And frame lock, it's also pretty reliable. You do have to put your fingers in the cutting path of the blade to close it. Oh, look at that. See that? Grabbed my microphone cable in there. That's not good. But at least I didn't get my finger. Interesting texture. We got some milling on here, right? There is something that looks like jimping on the back here, but it doesn't feel like much because the liners are pretty much flush with it, and the liners don't have any jimping. It's not cut into the liners, it's only on the scales. We do have a stainless steel lock interface there, lock bar insert. is good because we don't want titanium on steel. My first impressions of this are also positive. In the pocket, let's see. It's a little longer than either of those big Benchmades, but I don't think it's going to seem like it's more to carry in your pocket. Because it's, even without a scale, I can tell you it's lighter than the Adamas. Similar weight to the Crooked River. Got a milled pocket clip on this. A good amount of this is going to stick out of your pocket if that's of concern to you. Right? This is not a deep carry clip. You can have everything above my thumb is going to be poking out of the top of your pocket. And that looks like a knife. People are going to say, oh, you're carrying a knife. Which, you know, maybe that's a problem, maybe it's not, depending on you and your circumstances and where you're going to be, who you're going to be interacting with. But something to know. All right. Well, I hope to see you again soon for my video on the Navaja pattern. We will, this Nighthorse will make another appearance there, as will that other knife from Beyond EDC and a bunch of others. And I look forward to sharing that with you soon, probably in the next several days here. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you like knives, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. I will be showing you a lot of knives. We both know that's what you want. Do it. Do it. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.